Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is Tuesday. This is Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. I am your host, Scott Steehn, lead handicapper at winnersandwiners.com.
I'm your co-host, Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwiners.com.
And together we do this every day, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, helping everyone on that perilous journey as we all attempt to head back to the window and cash those winning tickets. You know, Scott, sometimes I think it would be fun to have a camera going during our meetings as we break down various games and discuss the pros and cons and all that. And then sometimes we have a conversation like today, and I'm thinking, no, there's absolutely no fucking reason at all we should ever have a camera on our meeting. What was the last?
That would just be funny.
What was the discussion we had, Scott, right before we came on the air about?
It was about what the song, "Dead or," I forgot, the song's called "Dead or Alive."
It's
right?
Wanted, Dead or Alive. Yes.
Wanted, Dead or Alive. Is what I thought. Yeah. So
Yes.
It was about what the hell Bon Jovi's talking about.
The Steel Horse, and you assumed it was
Steel Horse.
You thought it was a what?
I imagined that he was on either some type of like robotic future horse, or it was like a mechanical bull,
Oh.
and he was just riding it. And apparently, you're telling me it's supposed to be a tour bus.
Sometimes I am slapped across the face
My version
with.
was so much better than yours.
Sometimes I'm just slapped across the face with the fact you're 24. Sometimes I forget.
Like, I'm supposed to be excited about Bon Jovi singing a song about a tour bus. Like, come on. Give me a futuristic horse or something. Like, let's go.
Good times. Good times indeed. Hey, David Good, what's up? Good afternoon to you, sir, out there in the West where Bon Jovi once rode his steel horse across across the, I guess, I-40 down there in Arizona. So, hey, it's good to be here. How'd your day go yesterday, Scott?
Went well. Been on a bit of a winning streak. Kept it going. Had the Sixers. They were killing. Then some Doc Rivers shenanigans happened for about the first 7 minutes of the fourth quarter. But they pieced it together, and they won by 15. So, overall, can't complain. Pretty good day. Hopefully, keep the winning streak going.
Well, that cost me my fucking play of the day. I had the over there, and of course we were at 119, I think, at halftime. I need 98 points in the second half. Nope, can't do it. How about 90? How about 43 in the fourth quarter? You fucking hacks. God, you know, when you're running good, Scott, those kind of things go in your favor. When you're running bad, they tend to go against you, and it's a real weird streak. Premiums have been good. Yesterday was going into premiums 14-6, but yet lost almost 2 weeks now on my play of the day. So whoopee! We'll see what happens today. I'm excited for my play today, though. That's cool. So as always, thanks for stopping by, guys. We'd appreciate it if you take a minute and smash that like button, give us the thumbs up. Make sure you get subscribed to both of our channels, our YouTube channels, Winners and Winers, and very important, you have to get subscribed to the Max Wagers Network. Why, Scott? Why is that important this week?
Well, I'll let you tell the folks.
Okay, good chat. You just don't like to break any bad news at all, do you?
Not really. No, not my speed.
Kid's a pleaser. So next Monday, we're going to be going live exclusively on the Max Wagers Network. We're going to still be able to download the video at a later time on the Winners and Winers YouTube channel, as well as the Picks and Parlays channel. But if you want to be live, if you want to interact with us and get your snarky comments in, you have to do it at the Max Wagers Network YouTube channel. We told you when we started this endeavor, we would eventually be funneling everything down into Max Wagers Network, and that process is continuing. So make sure you catch us at the Max Wagers Network. Get over there and subscribe now. And in fact, Scott, we gave a little preview yesterday because I forgot to push the correct button to simulcast us on the Winners and Winers YouTube channel. So we got it when we made the announcement yesterday that everybody had to go to Max Wagers Network. Everybody that was watching us was on the Max Wagers Network. So good times indeed. Hey guys, make sure you stop by and check out our friends there at DraftKings. If you are in a state where DraftKings is, if you're in Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Iowa, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, Wyoming, or West Virginia, I've been everywhere, man. You should check out DraftKings because they got a great deal going on for baseball. You bet $5, a minimum of $5. You can bet anything you want to. It doesn't have to be just $5. You can bet any money line in baseball $5 or more. They give you $250 in free wager credit. So that's a pretty cool deal right there. That's a 50x multiplier, Scott. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. At least in my experience, anytime you can get a multiplier of hell, even 2, that's pretty decent. But
Right.
50,
Yeah.
that's pretty solid.
50. That's what I'm saying. You got to be 21, except in the states of New Hampshire and Wyoming. It is, of course, for first-time DraftKings Sportsbook customers only. Got to register using the promo code WAW Video, Winners and Winers Video. The link, of course, is in the description of the video. So check that out. And Scott, tell folks about the Caesars. What's going on over there at Caesars?
So you can potentially, if you have not used an actual account yet at Caesars, you can sign up and get pretty much an $1,100 guarantee or a money-back guarantee. Because if you place your first wager up to $1,100, you can get it back in the form of a free bet if it loses. And of course, anytime you can get a potential refund on a losing wager, sign me up.
Consider yourself signed up, sir.
Yeah.
Roland says Steven Adams isn't listed in points, Scott. What the hell? What are you giving? Are you giving out candy over there? Just too much sugar? Not even a real bet?
I know it was a real bet. It was up for a couple hours. Let me see if other books have it. I know BetMGM also had it earlier. Definitely juiced, but let me see if that's a new thing. I am curious though. I don't think my play would get voided if Adams is removed from the starting lineup, right? Because as long as he's on the court at any point, then my bet would be live, right?
He's not a pitcher. He doesn't have to start. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So there is a chance that maybe it got pulled because maybe he's not in the starting lineup anymore. They have yet to fully announce the starting lineup. I'm trying to think of a reason why. But no, I still see it available at BetMGM. Actually, it went down to 5.5. So it went from 6.5 to 5.5.
All right. Andrew hit his Nerfy last night in Arizona, Washington. Make up for his Pittsburgh Maulers loser.
Is that last night or this afternoon? Because that cashed this afternoon.
You know what? It must be this afternoon. Then making up for the Pittsburgh game last night. There you go. Very good. Somebody said that they can't find us on with the Winners and Winers YouTube right now. And I'm gonna check because I know it's. I can see it. It should be there. I can see the link in our. Yeah, we're there. Okay. So whoever said that, I don't know what you did wrong, but it comes right up. So, all right, cool. All right, Peter Wolf ready to make some money. I'm with you, Peter. I'm absolutely with you as well. 5.5, no bueno. You still play that at 5.5, Scott?
I actually don't mind it anyway. You can probably shop around and still find 6.5s at a decent amount of juice. But Adams really should not be playing more than like 15 minutes per game in the series. He can't guard anybody. I don't know how Memphis is going to have success with him on the court when offensively he's basically a 0 and defensively he's also basically a 0. And the rebounding numbers, which is his claim to fame, we only had 3 in game 1. So I don't know what in the series. Do you?
No, I don't. I'm really not sure. I
expect to see more Jackson at 5, Clark at 5, and a little bit of Tillman in there. So I still like the under. Of course, 6.5 is better than 5.5. But shop around, you could probably find a decently juiced 6.5.
JR Black says where the live show will be aired again. For this week, JR, it's still going to be in all the regular places, all 3, Picks and Parlays, Max Wagers Network, and the Winners and Winers YouTube channel. Of course, it's on Facebook as well. But next week, it's going to be winnowed down to just Max Wagers Network. So there you go. And I think that's maybe where our videos are going to be too, Scott. I'm not sure.
Truth is, I don't know, because I still upload my videos not using StreamYard. So I need access to the Max Wager stuff. So until then, I'm going to keep doing it at my usual spot.
Well, and I'm going to start posting mine early in the morning instead of late at night. I'm going to schedule them for release there. So if you guys are fans of my daily videos, they won't be available till about 7 a.m. Eastern time. So
I think I might also make it easier. If you follow me on Twitter, I'll probably just post a tweet with a link to my play of the day on Twitter in the morning. So if you want to find it, you can just find it on Twitter.
It's good.
Might make it easier.
Oh, there you go. I'm with you. Hey, Paul says hit the like button. Thanks, Paul. We appreciate it. Hey, let's find out what happened yesterday. Oh, by the way, you guys can catch us tonight on Total Chaos, Scott, with Allie Burns.
I'll be there.
You'll be there? Is Chris coming?
That I don't know.
Okay. All right. Very good. I didn't know who was, if he's going to make it or not, if we're putting the gang back together. And by the way, I don't know if I told you or not, I'm going to be the new host of the Just Parlay show starting next week.
Co-host, damn it.
What?
Co-host, damn it.
I'm the host. And then he's
is Chris technically the guest?
He's the talent. He's the
parlay
guy.
Situation.
No.
So what the hell am I? I'm the talent?
Sort of, yeah. You're more of a...
I'm not talented.
This is more of a co-host role, but Chris actually does the parlays thing. That's his shtick.
Okay.
So that's... I'm just not like I'm
learning a lot about the ins and outs of show business.
Well, not like I'm bringing parlays to the table. That's what I'm saying. I'm not...
You can.
I'm not...
It might not be good, but anybody can make a parlay.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, dude, he does 6 parlays every day. I'm not fucking doing 6 parlays. I do a parlay about...
Prepare one.
I do a parlay about once every 3 weeks.
You can be the teaser guy. You know, there's room for growth there. You can be the teaser guy.
Yeah. Okay. Good chat.
Yeah.
Let's talk about yesterday, man. Let's live in the past for a second. There was some bad breaks yesterday, Scott. We can't really call that 76ers thing call the cops because it was like a slow motion fucking train wreck. But at one point, I was
actually thinking about putting that in there, but I found a couple that were.
But at one point, Scott, the live number 240. 240.
Yeah, first quarter.
Yeah. Well, in halftime too.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Anyway, let's find out who the real losers were yesterday, Scott. Not just me, but let's find out who you are. Identify. Be proud. Who took it in the shorts? Who took it to the bank? Who's the winners? Who's the whiners? And who had to get out their fancy new flip phone and call the cops? I swear technology hates me today, Scott. Just saying. Hey, if you had the Nuggets first half +4 against the Golden State Warriors, or as somebody just referred to them, the Golden State Globetrotters, which is a fine name right there. Nuggets led by 10 with 6:41 left, Scott. And then they didn't. Because the Warriors closed the half on a 24-8 run. Goodbye 10-point lead. Goodbye +4. Nuggets, doing the math at home, trailed by 6 at halftime. That's definitely more than 4. Oof. Call the cops.
I do want to go back to that series when we finish these segments, but moving on, if you had the Flames and Blackhawks under 6.5 goals, you had 5 with less than 2 minutes to go, and then Calgary scored 2 goals in the final 92 seconds. Game ended 5-2.
And we're just going to spread it out here. Well, let's do one from baseball, shall we? If you had the Pirates Brewers over 8.5, had 7 runs in the first 4 innings. Quality starting pitching once again. You know what the game? You know where it ended, Scott?
7.
7. That's correct. Started 6-1, ended 6-1. Congratulations, bullpens. You did a great job. If you had the over there, the bullpens, well, they did a shitty job. Sorry. All right. So there was some good.
It was even worse because Yelich actually had a grand slam. He did something, and you still lost an over.
Jesus, waste a Yelich grand slam on an under. That's unbelievable. There was some nice easy wins out there, Scott. There were some people that were counting their money early, and they could get away with it because it was easy. It was socked away. You know who you are. You were kicked up with your feet in the air, sitting in the rocking chair.
So, first one, if you had the under in Coors Field in the Phillies and Rockies game, the total was 11. You had 0 runs in the first 5 innings. And the Rockies bullpen's bad. It's not that bad, though. Game only landed 5.
Well, a game that somebody else brought up here a little bit earlier, if you're jumping in with both feet, or even just dipping your big toe in the USFL pool. Maybe you had the Bandits last night, -6. They didn't have to steal it, Scott. They just hit them over the head and took it outright against the Pittsburgh Maulers. Bandits led 17-0 at halftime. A little bit of a slow second half, but it didn't matter. They still win by 14 and easily cover the number. I believe they didn't score anything in the second half.
They did not.
As the Maulers put up The Maulers put up 3 points.
I was asked for a brief breakdown of that on yesterday's show, and I just said it's a new league, take the under.
Yeah.
And what do you know? Both teams sucked.
Well, it's a lot easier to scheme defensively than it is offensively, Scott. That's the way that
Plus,
works.
the weather also wasn't that great.
No, weather sucked.
Yeah, quite a factor. But in the last one, if you had my play today, you had the 76ers -7 against the Raptors, led by 15 at the half. They were up 20 and change going into the fourth quarter. Played with their food a little bit, won by 15.
Yeah. I went back and forth on which one of those to take for my play of the day and which one to take for the premium. So I really liked both of those plays a lot. I thought they'd both get home, but I took the Sixers on the premium side. So there you go. Scott, we haven't done one of these in a while. Let's talk about it. We missed one yesterday. That was on me, but we're going to do it today, my friend, and we'll talk a little bit about hockey because hockey was not our friend last night, Scott. We went into the.
Well, we didn't mention that actual game itself.
No.
I mean, the Hurricanes outshot the Coyotes.
Get ready for it. Say it again.
52-26.
That's right. 52-26. They took 52 shots. How many goals they score?
5.
That's fucking ridiculous right there.
Scored 5.
47 saves. Standing on his
well.
fucking head. Huh?
They were up 4-1.
Yes.
On top of that, the Coyotes were down 2 goals for the final 9 minutes.
Yep.
And at no point did they pull the goalie.
Nope.
I thought this was a thing now. I thought you were supposed to pull the goalie.
Yes.
When you're down 2. They had a power play.
Yep.
They didn't pull the goalie.
Yeah, I know.
A 6-on-4.
Couldn't be a 6-on-4. They didn't pull the power. Didn't pull the goalie.
It didn't make any sense. Made no sense.
And we had one shot. We had a pretty good shot on goal with about 40 seconds left. Whatever, yeah.
Aho had a very nice shot on net, but it was a nice save by the goalie.
It was. Because why not? He's made 46 other fucking saves. He might as well end it with a flurry. So it was kind of a brutal beat on Bet the Farm. It really was. So last night, there was another thing going on in hockey, and you and I talked about this team a little bit before the show, Scott. It's Vegas. It's Vegas, baby. And whatever happens in Vegas doesn't necessarily stay there because people talk about it. And we're going to find out who that is today and why people are talking about it on the Tuesday version of I'm Not Mad. I'm just disappointed. So, Scott, I think if you ask the average hockey fan, where do you rank Vegas? You think most of them would put them in the top 4?
This year, no.
Top 5?
When it comes to... No, I'd say this season they're definitely top 10.
They are, but I think there's a perception they're better than that. And that's
perception.
That's my point.
Top 5 because they've made the playoffs every year they've existed.
Right. So what happened last night, buddy?
So we mentioned yesterday at the end how favorites were 22-0.
22-0
over the weekend.
Yep.
The Vegas Golden Knights currently out of the playoff picture, but competing for a playoff spot, so they could really use a win. And they had a home game against the Devils. The Devils haven't been playing for anything for about, 3 months.
Devils get off the bus and give up 3 goals.
Pretty much. We've talked about how bad the defense is for a while. And yet the Golden Knights at home, we know how good the home field advantage or home ice advantage is there in Vegas. Didn't matter last night because they ended up losing 3-2 to New Jersey at home. They were about minus 330 on the money line. So on top of the fact that they butchered a win as a huge favorite, they also might have killed their playoff chances. So a pretty rough day there for Golden Knight fans.
Unbelievable. So keep that in mind when you go to blindly back the Vegas Golden Knights.
I think DeBoer's a good coach.
Are you watching?
I'm not surprised that they've underachieved. DeBoer has not really done anything since he has been a head coach.
Are you watching Liverpool Man United?
No. Fun fact, I actually thought about doing that as my play today. I was going to take Liverpool minus 1.5.
Yeah.
At minus 110. Decided not to. They should bury Man U. Ronaldo's not playing. They were doing a ceremony for him in the 7th minute because he lost a son.
Tragedy, yeah.
Yeah, damn shame. So Liverpool at home, of course, they're competing with Man City. No Ronaldo. Liverpool should kill them by about 3-4 goals. But yeah, definitely a rough time for Ronaldo's family. And also, I mean, I don't want to turn about sports, but Man U, because Ronaldo's the only reason why they beat Norwich over the weekend because he had a hat trick. So Man U's missing its best player.
Yep.
And it's against arguably the best team in the league on the road. They should get buried.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
If I had to guess, 3-0 Liverpool. If I had to guess a score.
Sounds legit. J.R. Black says Vegas minus 343 killed his 5-team money line parlay yesterday. Yeah, Devils haven't been playing anything for 3 years. That's absolutely true. That's a great line, and it sucks because it's absolutely accurate. Vegas is dead to me, says J.R. Black. They dead to you, Scott?
No, because I haven't really been fading them. In fact, the last time I actually had a game involving the Knights, I had them beating Vancouver, and they won in overtime. So I have not really been involved that much with the Golden Knights, for better or worse. I'm kind of rooting for Vancouver. They've been playing really well lately. They're an entertaining team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of rooting for them to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm into that.
I find Dallas a bit boring, though. I know that they have talent. I find Dallas a pretty boring team. So I'm kind of hoping they end up getting kicked out of one of the wild card spots.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Super Slice, it was one of the twins. Yeah, I've got boy-girl twins, man. I can't even imagine, because I think it would be easier and harder because you'd see them in the face. The fucking anyway. Yeah, hats off. That's a damn shame. James S. He's sitting there at the scene of an accident. At least I'm not missing you guys. Hopefully not your accident. Hopefully it's just some other unfortunate person that, and hopefully nobody's hurt too badly. Now that the Jets are basically dead, I'm rooting for the Canucks too. There you go. Very cool. We got cooked up for tonight, Scott. We got 3 basketball games. I know you and I have thoughts on one of them, so we'll talk about a couple other games there out west. Memphis.
I actually want to just pivot for a second to go back, because I said I was going to bring it up. Going into the series, I said that I thought Denver was going to get their ass kicked. I thought that Golden State was a serious candidate to sweep. We're 2 games in, and Denver has not looked close at all in really either game. They kept it close for about, I had a pretty good, first 17 minutes of the game 2. Basically it.
Yeah.
They were fighting on the bench yesterday with Barton and with Cousins. Golden State looks great again. My title bet back to life on Golden State. Denver's getting swept, right? I don't know how they can compete with Golden State.
The only shot is like this. I think game 3 with the altitude. I think
I was saying an injury.
Yeah, that too.
Curry's coming off the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, in the death lineup, they have a whole 5 there, which is really amusing because Andrew Wiggins is probably the worst player.
What did he put up? 35 in 20 minutes?
Who?
Curry yesterday.
It was nuts. But either way, the way I look at it is that Andrew Wiggins is the worst player in that death lineup, and he was an all-star. It tells you how good that five-man lineup is.
Yep, they finally got everybody
What's
back
Denver
together.
supposed to do? You have no talent.
I agree.
I've been saying it for months, which is why I personally would have voted for Jokic to win the MVP. The fact that they were even able to avoid the play-in game with this supporting cast is unbelievable, because this team stinks.
Well, they certainly stink next up to good stack up to Golden State.
Do you think they're getting swept?
I
don't know how they can win a game.
The altitude is the only shot they have, is the altitude switch that they can wear them down and get heavy legs in the fourth quarter. James S. says it was him that's involved in the accident. Said an old person decided to stop in the middle of the street. Hey, wait a minute. I'm an old person, but I do keep going in the middle of the street. So the good news is, God damn it, you got to love sports bettors. Yeah, I just got in a wreck. But the good news is the under in the Diamondbacks game looks pretty good. God bless you, James. That's the kind of go for it spirit that we like around here. You know, cars will come and go, but you only get one shot at that early game under. So turn the lights back on. You look like
By the way, opening line for game 3 is Golden State -2 with juice to Denver +2.
Okay.
I mean, going into the series, it looked exactly like what I thought would happen last year in the Denver-Phoenix series, where Phoenix just walked in there, and I just said straight up, Denver's about to get their ass kicked, and they got swept.
Yep. Yeah, there's a different...
This might be the worst team in the Western Conference in the playoffs. They might be worse than New Orleans with the current health.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Of course, if they had Murray and if they had Porter, they'd be a lot better. But this is just the same thing as last year. Denver's going to get killed. Like, Jokic against Draymond has done nothing. The guards are awful. Poole, Curry, and Draymond, and not Andrew, sorry, and Poole, Curry, and Thompson have gone nuts from three. I don't know what Denver's done well in the first two games. Have they done anything well?
Well, for starters, they don't do much well under the best of circumstances.
That's what I'm saying.
So the fact that Jokic has been held, I mean, relatively in check. He went for 26, and I can't remember what he did the other game. I want to say it was fairly similar. 25, yeah. So
he had 25 and 12. He was fine. He got ejected yesterday, but against Draymond alone, I believe he went like 0 for 8 yesterday. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, I mean,
it was really bad.
I don't know that he's hit a 3-pointer yet. Did he make any 3-pointers yesterday? Because I know he didn't in the first game.
No, I don't believe so.
So here's the deal. He goes for 25. Barton goes for 24, which is obviously about 8-10 more than you would expect to get out of him. Denver still loses by 16. So unless Jokic is going for 40, I think that's your shot, Scott. If he just can somehow overcome Draymond and put 40 plus, that's the only shot they have at winning.
And even if he goes for 40,
there's no guarantee.
No, I'm saying even if he does, they can't stop Golden State. Golden State is getting whatever it wants on the offensive end.
No,
he should get swept.
He's going to have to go for 40
to have a shot.
And the Nuggets are going to have to put up 135.
Pretty much. But the way that I see it is that, I'll tell you right now, of course, this will be a preview for my play of the day tonight. I'm going to take Golden State. Like, I don't know how I'm not taking Golden State. I have to do it. I'm assuming I'm assuming you might have them as well. I'm not going to touch upon it because you might not have thought about it, but
I can't go into
I can't avoid taking Golden State.
No, you can't. You can't go into the teeth of that. And if Denver pulls it out, you go, well, you know what?
Denver pulls it out, I shake their hand. But I said going into the series, it would be a sweep or it would be in 5. So I'm gonna back that.
Bronco Devil says today's Reichel question: standard oil change or synthetic?
Tough question. I'm old fashioned. Give me standard.
Standard. All right.
I'm old fashioned.
If your car is like 80,000 miles or less, standard is fine. Once it gets to 80,000, you should at least do a blend. And really kind of overkill to do 100% synthetic. But if
once I drive from my bedroom to the recording area,
how many miles would you say you've driven total in your life?
It's a great question. Not as much as I should have. I'll tell you that much.
Like 10,000.
Probably, give or take.
If you were a car, somebody would get a great deal on you because it's
a bargain.
Never been driven.
Be a bargain and a half. I'll tell you that much.
That's just amazing, dude. I had 250,000 mile years. I had 250,000 mile years.
That's because you were traveling for work all over the place.
I was in the steel.
I was
in my steel horse. Yes, that's right. I was a steel pony because I wasn't on the actual bus. But yeah. All right. So we promised to look at these games. Memphis, Minnesota. We're going to talk about the Hawks game here in just a minute, Justin. So, yeah, as far as the Memphis, Minnesota game, Scott, I got to be honest. It's hard not to be on all the favorites here. Talk me off the favorites ledge here, buddy.
I think the one concern I would have first of all, the Timberwolves game is the fact that I'm still not exactly sure if Memphis can fully contain Edwards and Towns, and the fact that Morant can't shoot. I've mentioned in the past during the regular season, and it became really transparent in the second half of game 1. They were guarding Morant like he was Westbrook, and they were just daring him to shoot jumpers.
Right.
And I don't think Morant made a single jumper in game 1. So if you're going to keep sagging off and forcing Morant to potentially hit jumpers, do you feel great about Memphis' offense? I'm not saying he can never hit a mid-range jumper, but Morant's going to take a lot of shots. He got to the line 20-something times. Hell, Memphis attempted 40-something free throws in game one. Does that concern you? Especially laying this number?
Yeah, I mean that's what you have to look at. But I mean, he was 0 for 2 from 3, but he was 8 of 16. He was 8 of 16 from inside the perimeter. So, I mean,
was that based on layups or jump shots?
Well, I don't have it broken down by mid-range.
A lot of them were dunks and layups. I really don't think he made one jump shot the entire game.
And do you think that's due more to him coming off the injury?
No. I've said the entire season, I don't think he can shoot. And don't get me wrong, he's still a great athlete. He's still a great player. But if I'm going to compare you to somebody, I'd compare him to Prime Westbrook because he really can't shoot. And his mid-range shot's inconsistent at times. His three-point shot's a mess. So he's going to have to work on that. But I guess my question is, if Morant has another mediocre shooting game, do you trust Memphis to cover 7 or 7.5? Because I feel like Morant needs to go for 35 or 40 if they're going to cover.
Yeah, I think he needs to. Well, he certainly needs to go for 30 plus. I don't know about 35 or 40, but he definitely needs to go for 30 plus. And they've got to slow down Edwards. That's the key because Cat's going to get his. You pencil him in for 25 plus, but you've got to hold Edwards mid to low 20s, Scott.
Pretty much, which I don't think they can do because Edwards really got whatever shot he wanted. The thing is, you can really overreact to any one-game sample size.
Right.
I thought Edwards was the best player on the court in game one. You can argue Towns, maybe.
Right.
But I thought Edwards looked better than Morant. And
to
be honest, I didn't think it was close. Now, I'm not saying that Edwards is going to sustain that for the entire series, but part of me was just looking at the actual possessions and the actual shot quality, and it seemed like Minnesota's offense was a lot more fluid because Edwards had a comfortable 30-plus points and really didn't force anything. It felt like Morant was forcing all his shots. Do you get that same opinion?
Yeah, especially as they continued to be down, it seemed like he pressed and
he got to the line 20-something times because he just kept lowering his head and getting to the rim. But if he's not going to get those foul calls, I do feel like Morant's stubbornness could kill this team.
So, Leg Show magazine bringing up the 500-pound gorilla in the room, Scott. I think I'm mixing the metaphors there, but no matter. Are the Grizzlies better without Morant?
I can't say that they're officially better because I've yet to see them in a playoff series without him. And the supporting cast did not do a great job shooting in game one. But I feel like when Morant's in the game, it becomes a little bit too dependent on Morant to generate everything.
Yeah.
Where a lot of guys just stand around, kind of like what we saw with Harden with Houston, or what we've seen with Westbrook with Oklahoma City. A lot of the guys just stop moving. And I feel like the reason why people think Memphis might be better without him is because the ball movement and the assist numbers are significantly better, and they're noticeably better when Morant's off the court.
Well, we've talked about this with superstars before. It forces teams to play different games that aren't so one-man centric, if you will. It's not like when you see a lead singer, if you see it like a singer with a band and the singer goes off for a costume change or whatever, and the band jams out, and you're like, my God, this band is really good, even without, fucking Joe Cocker or whatever. I'm like, yeah, it's the same thing without Ja Morant. So it's an interesting question, especially if he's going to be cold, Scott. Andrew wants to know if Marcus Smart deserved Defensive Player of the Year. That was kind of a bit of a surprise to some people. He led in no defensive categories whatsoever. Loose balls procured was the only quote unquote defensive stat that he led the league in. Huh?
Flops.
What do you say?
Led the league in flops.
Oh, flops.
No, but he's a great defensive player, but I feel like they gave it to him because they ended up deciding to give it to the best defensive player on the best defensive team. The problem with that is I don't think Marcus Smart's the best defensive player on his team because I think it's Robert Williams. So Smart has been a great defensive player for years. So I do feel like they gave it to him for more of a longevity purpose because he has had his name in the running for a couple of years and they finally gave it to him. If I had a vote, I probably would have given it to Mikal Bridges because he played every game. And I do feel like with Phoenix being the best team in the league, the fact that they weren't really in the running for any other award besides Coach of the Year. But do you think that actual durability and consistency should factor into this award? Because J.R. Black's mentioning Bam. He did miss a decent amount of games, so I probably wouldn't have voted for him. Jaren Jackson was mentioned, but I would probably go for Bridges because he played 82 games and Phoenix was the best team in the league.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like if you were to split it up into WAR or value per game. I know there's not really I don't think there's a value per game stat, but
do you think
that's really the question you're asking. Is it better to have a guy who is a 9 defender for 65 games or a guy that's an 8.5 defender for 80 games? That's really the question.
I'm taking the 8.5 who played every single game.
There you go.
There were only 2 players in the league that played every game. It was Mikal Bridges and Sadiq Bey. And Bridges I would have voted for because he follows the same script that Smart does. He's a perimeter guy. He switches on. He plays great defense. But I do acknowledge that if you play every single game and you are that dependable, I think that's a tiebreaker.
Okay. I would go along with that. I don't think it's factored in enough. I don't think it's factored in at all. But
JR, I think Bam missed too many games. I would not have voted for him.
Roland G says, by the way, somebody said they drive 2.5 miles to and from work in 1,300 miles a year. They think they beat you. Have you driven? You haven't driven 1,300 miles this year, have you? In April? No. Somebody says when it comes to bands, you can't always replace the lead singer. Look how many singers foreigners had. Yeah, I saw a couple of those live.
We think singers are important. They're just not as important as a franchise quarterback in the NFL.
That's probably true. I mean, Lou. There is only one Lou Graham, but I mean, if you look at Journey,
the new singer's good.
They've had a decent second life since Perry left and Ariel.
I saw the new singer with the Filipino guy.
Yeah,
I saw him with the band. They were great.
Yeah, I've seen him a couple times. But the thing is, we call him the new guy. He's probably been with Journey 15 years. I think Arnell has been with Journey like over 15 years. So, but have you ever seen the story on how they found him?
Wasn't it from YouTube?
Yeah, watching him do cover songs with his band on YouTube. That's exactly right. Yeah, he is. Roland, I totally agree. I was surprised. Although I was watching some old Steve Perry stuff the other day, and I was like, oh, I forgot how good he is better than Arnell. I'm a big fan of Arnell. I think they did good, but Perry was just.
I was gonna say you can't fully replicate it, but if you can get 70% of it, that's good enough to coast on your reputation.
Yeah. Sometimes you just can't. You can't replace somebody, but yeah, in that case, they did a good job. So, okay. What else we got tonight, Scott? So who do you like?
We're mentioning the Timberwolves game.
Well, I know. So give me a fine.
You like Memphis to bounce back. I'm pumping the brakes. I'm not going to touch the side. I do like the under in the game, which I don't even know if that's a full bold take because there has been money on the under.
Right.
But I find it fascinating that the first game landed 247 with a 70-plus point first quarter.
Right.
And you had 70 free throw attempts combined, and yet there's been under money.
Yeah, I would lean under. I had this play as an under as well, and the first quarter pretty much cooked us. I think they had 74 in the first quarter, and then they were under what they needed to be. They were under the target for the other 3 quarters. So I think there was a lot of things that had to go wrong, quote unquote, for me to lose that bet, especially with 247. So yeah, I lean under there too.
That was almost my play of the day. Then I pivoted for the player prop, but that was almost my play of the day.
Phoenix, New Orleans.
I liked Phoenix until Scott Foster was announced the ref, and he's with Chris Paul. We know what that means, so I am not touching Phoenix at all.
Did they not keep the refs for the entire series?
No, they rotate.
They rotate every game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The finals, I think the finals might be the same crew, but the actual first round series, no, they rotate.
Okay. Leg Show says Journey's doing a show with a full orchestra in Vegas next month.
Cool.
Damn. Now, if anything could get me to Vegas. Classic rock with orchestra.
It's not an electric orchestra.
Do they have lights? Electric light orchestra?
No, I was saying it's not ELO. It was a joke.
I know. Each of the Grizzlies' last 10 playoff games have gone over the total. That's good.
I'm trying to think how many playoff games they played last year. They lost to Utah in what, 5?
Yes.
So that's 5. You have 1 from this year. I don't even know when the previous 4 were, so I don't know if that matters. When the hell was the previous 4 before last year? Like Mike Conley and Tony Allen? Like,
yeah, it would have had to have been, right?
That long ago?
I would almost think.
Like a Zach Randolph year somewhere in there? Like, I don't know.
I'll tell you what I do like in this game. I do like the under. This Phoenix defense is really
I like the under as well.
Playing good basketball right now. And the offense is they're not a juggernaut, Scott. They're deliberate. They work for good shots. They're a team that can be counted on to put about 110 on the board, but they're not going to get you 120 many nights. They're going to be between 108 and 115 90% of the time. So they have to do it with defense. This New Orleans defense, not fantastic. I'm not sure where the point.
It's been better lately.
It's been better lately. What has really been better though is their defense. I mean, they put up 99 against Phoenix. So,
but you mean the offense hasn't been better?
No, I said what has been better is their defense. They put up.
Yeah.
I'm just anyway. I was trying to make 2 points in one sentence there.
Yeah, all good.
You're gonna lay 9.5 with Phoenix, or are you gonna jump on? You're gonna say that's too many points.
I'm not touching anything. I really didn't like much on the NBA card today.
Okay.
Now, my favorite play was the prop, but my favorite total or spread play is the under in the Timberwolves game. But when it comes to actual betting, I'd rather get in play. I'm not going to overreact to the refereeing. New Orleans did play better in the second half, but I feel like Phoenix was coasting.
Right.
Because they were up by 20 going in basically with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Right.
So I'm not going to automatically say Pelicans money line because Scott Foster is the ref. Like, I'm not going to say that, but I expect New Orleans to play better. I'm just not sure how much they can actually do because Phoenix is so much better in every area. Like, New Orleans is outmatched in every single facet besides maybe rebounding with Valanciunas. Maybe. Because he had 25 rebounds in game 1. But they can't guard Chris Paul. They can't guard Devin Booker. And even Ayton had a good game. I don't know what New Orleans is supposed to do because their bench isn't good either.
Well, here's the deal. At least this season, if Phoenix wins, they cover. They're 4-1, and all 4 victories have come by double digits. So, I'm with you. I want to see it live, but since people don't really tune in to go, no, I don't have any idea. You can take a side. I'll take Phoenix minus the 9.5. Thoughts?
Yeah, if I was going to pick a side, I would lean Phoenix, but I'm just going to stay away.
Okay. Saw a show with orchestra and a band do a Led Zeppelin show. Singer was a lead singer of Zebra. I do not know who Zebra is, but that'd be fun. I would anytime an orchestra is involved doing rock and roll, I'm in. Mm-hmm. Anything from the baseball card grab you tonight, Scott?
First glance, I don't mind the no-run first inning in the Yankees-Tigers game. I know that Cole's been underwhelming early in games, but the Yankees can't hit. So no-run first inning is pretty tempting there, in my opinion. But I know the total in that game is a 7.5 for the full game. I mean, there's been a lot of unders in baseball. I was kind of hoping they would rejuice the baseballs, and we've had the opposite. We've had even less runs than we had last year. So I don't want to take any overs. Do you? I mean, have you noticed that as well?
Yep.
Because I feel like I'm gravitating more towards unders than overs.
And I've got a team total over for my favorite for my play of the day. I've got the Twins over 3.5 going up against Carlos Hernandez. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just not convinced that he had an awful spring. And I told you I don't usually pay a lot of attention to spring, but when their first performance of the year looks just like spring, it kind of becomes a little more relevant. So he was awful in spring. He was awful in his first start. And then you've got a Royals bullpen that I think we can generously call them inconsistent. So I think we've got 2 shots to win that bet.
I'm looking at potentially going with the Diamondbacks in Game 2 against Washington. Both teams are terrible, but Adon is especially bad. Gilbert had the no-hitter last year. We know he's decent. They should have an advantage in the starting pitching department.
Yep.
I don't mind Arizona for Game 2.
Don't hate that. I like the Los Angeles Angels and the Houston under. We talked before. I'm a big fan of Framber Valdez. He's off to a good start. Sandoval's pitched well. We'll see if that continues. I think any runs that are going to be scored is mostly going to be on the Houston side, and that offense hasn't been fantastic yet. They're averaging less than 4 runs per game, so I'll take the under there.
I'd probably also look for Padres -1.5. I hit that yesterday, which was nice because Lodolo is not very good, and they also can't hit. But the Reds have been awful. They're 2-9. You have San Martin on the mound, who is 0-1, 6.14 ERA. Musgrove on the mound, who looked really good in his first outing. I'm going to go with the Padres there. The first outing or first 2 outings. I'm not sure how many times he's pitched, but I believe he's pitched twice. But either way, he's been good. Give me the Padres -1.5.
Okay, very good. We count money over here, extolling people to smash that like button. Yeah, that's absolutely right. 46 people are watching, 10 likes. No excuse for that. Come on, boys. Help us out here. What's Behind the Door and Bears by Zebra. Do you know Zebra, Scott? You ever heard of him?
I do not.
Heavy metal hair band. Roland
Are
G
they
said
white with black stripes or black with white stripes?
Well, the white stripes must be taken, so they must be black with white stripes, or white with black stripes.
That's what I think.
Only band I know is Metallica and the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra. That would be cool as well. So, all right, Twins versus KC, says Frank White. Nice. Frank, I've got to be a fan of the Twins there, buddy. I think the Twins have the.
I don't mind the over.
I don't mind
the Archer against Hernandez, but Hernandez was especially bad.
Archer pitched really well his first time out. Only went 4 innings though, so I tend to believe that I'm going to believe the Archer of the last 5 years, not the Archer of the first 4 innings. So I don't
go 2 innings, they don't get injured.
I don't hate the over there as well. But if I had to play it, Twins laying a small price at 120, I got to take the Twins.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you two look for patterns or use systems to make your picks? How would you pick a pattern? I don't think either one of us use a system.
No,
I think it's all about trends.
I was going to say the closest I get to a system is a trend. But
yeah, trends, patterns.
I don't have a model or anything that I created most of it's just. Truth is, the longer you do it, the more you know what to look for. At least in my experience. So I kind of gravitate towards that.
Yep.
But for the most part, I just look for line inefficiencies just by going through different books, trying to see where the current form is of teams. And a lot of it is, I can't say recency bias, but I do like to focus more on the active form of teams as opposed to the overall body of work. So that's kind of how I approach teams, and I'm assuming you're the same way.
Yeah, I'm a matchups guy as well. Especially when it comes to baseball. I mean, you have to look how that pitcher does, how that team does against that pitcher, how they do against right-handers or left-handers in general, etc. So, and then it's again, it takes probably the biggest skill is separating recency bias from recent form and how it's relevant. So you kind of have to look for an overall pattern, not necessarily what happened the last game or the last time out. Somebody asking about the Cubs tonight, Scott. Surprising Cubs, 6-4, going up against the surprising Tampa Bay Rays under 500. We liked this Steele kid, this Justin Steele. He's had 2 very good starts.
I like Steele, so I'm leaning to Chicago. But
you're going to ride that Steele horse? I'm
going to do it. I'm going to ride the Steele horse because he's been good. And I said I liked him, so I'm not going to turn my back on him now getting plus money.
Okay. All right. No, you made you sound like you took that personally, buddy. Nobody's asking you to give up on him.
He's my guy, damn it. But by the way, J.C. Stone's been asking for a while, sorry I didn't mention it before, who I think would win the series between Phoenix and Golden State.
That is the question. I was going to ask that too, so thanks, J.C.
I'm in the same boat as you, J.C., where I have a future on Phoenix to win the West. I also have Golden State to win the title, though. So I'm kind of in the middle of my own hedge, but I think it would go 7. The truth is, the more that I actually think about it, I think the more I like Golden State. They have a certain ceiling to them that I think that no other team can match. Phoenix has the consistency, and they also have the depth because their bench is really good. But that 5-man lineup for Golden State might be the best lineup in the league, and I'm not sure it's close.
No, they've put the band back together, man. They've got Clay, Draymond, and Steph. So yeah, you give me three starters that are better than that, Scott. Do it now.
I can't.
Okay. No, I'm a big fan.
I might actually, if I can find a bet that would have exact matchups. So if I could bet Phoenix versus Golden State in the Western Conference Finals, which I know was available, I believe on DraftKings yesterday.
Yeah.
I got to see if I can actually find that. But I believe you can. If you can find that price, Conference Finals, DraftKings has it. It is, so let me see what it is for the West. It is Golden State versus Phoenix at plus 105. Oh, God. I mean, I don't even know if that's worth it or just slamming series price like moneyline parlay for the next couple rounds. But I mean, I think Golden State and Phoenix is going 7. I think that's the NBA Finals. Those are the 2 best teams in the league, and I don't think it's very close.
It's not really close. Somebody asking about the ageless wonder Adam Wainwright going against the Miami Marlins tonight with their Jesus Luzardo, the centerpiece of that trade they had with the A's. Scott, we've seen
Luzardo's been good.
He made 1 start, went 5 innings, gave up 1 earned.
He struck out 12 guys?
He did have 12 strikeouts. That is correct, sir. Adam Wainwright, after a very good first start, the next time out, Scott, not ideal. Not ideal. 4 runs in 4 1/3, 8 hits, 2 walks, 1 home run. So, is the fact that he's not getting to pitch against Pittsburgh every game going to be a problem for Wainwright?
Could be. He's old as dirt, but he's still good. I like no run first inning. Luzardo's been okay, and Wainwright against Miami's offense, I think, should fare pretty well. I see a lower scoring game, especially in Miami's ballpark. If you want to go for another nerfy, I'll go with the Wainwright and Luzardo nerfy.
Okay. You know what? I'll fade Wainwright here. Give me Miami. They've done a nice job.
Miami.
They've done a nice job since coming home. Took 3 or 4 from the Phillies. So I'll take the newly rejuvenated Jesus Luzardo. That'll play for me. Yeah, give me Miami at a minus 105 each side. Yeah, I got that. Yeah. See, now Jay Seaton says this year it feels wide open, so the Heat might take it. I think we're just talking about the West.
I'm talking about the West.
Yeah, no, the Heat. We've seen that they can be a problem for anybody in a short series, especially.
It's all about a sense of toughness, which is why I'm still against Milwaukee to win the whole thing. I acknowledge they're defending champions and that Giannis is, unbelievable and whatever, but I mean, you saw it in game 1. It wasn't really easy. Like, they have some moments, mostly because of their awful bench, where they just struggle against any physicality whatsoever. And Chicago was physical with them, and they kind of wilted a bit. They won the game, but do I think that Milwaukee would end up beating Phoenix or Golden State or Miami in a series? I would probably say no.
It seems like a tall order right now. I want to see what the next 2 series look like. All right, Scott, it's time, buddy. Let's do it, everybody. It's Tuesday. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for waiting on us here. Hope everybody is ready to put on those overalls, grab your straw hat, climb aboard your John Deere, get that lucky keychain out, put it into key ignition, and fire that bad boy up because, kids, once again, it is time to bet the farm. All right, buddy. There it is. Wrong one. There's the farm. There's the farm. All right. Sorry, guys. Hey, wait a minute. There we go. I got to have I don't know why I have to have the logo forward. They're not paying us anything yet. Still working on it. All right, Scott. We talked about kind of a bad beat yesterday for the farm. Not ideal, as they had a tall hill to climb there at 2.5. Couldn't keep it there. So see if we can get back on the winning way here today, my friends. We're going to play an NBA contest, and we're going to keep this relatively short and relatively sweet. We're going to take the Miami Heat minus the 7.5 points. Somebody was talking about the Heat earlier. This is a very good basketball team. Atlanta, good team on the road, not so much. They are just 17-26 straight up on the road this season. Miami 30-12 straight up. Atlanta even worse against the number away from the friendly confines, 14-28. ATS on the highway. Miami, we talked about their defense, and it is very, very good. 5th in defensive efficiency, while Atlanta, their defense, they also have one. They are 26th in defensive efficiency. And finally, Miami is 7-1 straight up and ATS in their last 8 contests. This is a good Miami team, and I think they take care of business tonight. We're going to play the Miami Heat minus 7.5 against the Atlanta Hawks, and that is going to do it for our Bet the Farm play, and that is going to do it for today's broadcast. As always, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. One more time, we would really love it if you'd take a minute and smash that like button. Thank you very much, guys, as well. Don't forget to subscribe over there to the Max Wagers Network. It's going to be the exclusive home of the live broadcast of Back to the Window starting next Monday. So, you guys, we do this each and every day. Don't forget to check us out. 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, each and every day, as Scott and I do our very best. We put on our hats, and we help you in that never-ending journey to head back to the window. Take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.